Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Tuesday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. Happy Tuesday, as the kid said in the chat. It is Tuesday night. So what are we working on tonight? Great question. Like, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to work on tonight, but I kind of like that colorful cat I did last week. So I thought I might try like a dog in that same style. I'm not really sure how this is going to go because, like, whenever I try to copy one of my styles that I'm not really fluent in, it could be hit or miss. It could come out looking exactly like the one that I did before, or it can come out looking just completely different. Um, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm actually going to try to do a like a Chihuahua, a little tiny dog. So I don't know. I've never done a Chihuahua, so this is going to be interesting just from that standpoint. Little tiny face with the big eyes and everything. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. But if you guys are into that and you want to hang out with me and chat for a while, then let's do it. Let's hop in. Um, let's see. Shout out to a kid in the room. We got Rome Dog in the room. This is pretty cool. So just like with my cat picture, I already took the steps of, I've got the black paper here. You can kind of see where I've added the clear gesso to it. That gives it this really toothy, sandy kind of texture that I can use pastels on. So I'm just going to jump right in. I don't really know if I can copy that style exactly, but I kind of figure what I did before. Um, so I'm just gonna try to do that. And the process is to kind of like sketch around and just kind of scribble until you kind of figure out where the dog's going to be on the paper. I'm not spending a lot of time trying to figure out where these marks go. It's just a matter of like, you know, just dropping the pencil and all of that. Not a lot of science to it. Oh yes, yes. Good eye there, kid. Because kid requested it, Geppetto now has eyes. Yes, that is a new thing as of today. Geppetto can see. He can see at last. See at last. Finally, he can see. Not much to see here. Just a couple of scribbles on a paper. Um, the other thing about like these Chihuahua dogs is they're kind of like they're short haired, so they got these really big ears too. So I'm gonna try to just figure out where these things are. Big old chupacabra ears. You guys familiar with chupacabras? Yeah. Yeah, I healed the blind boy. I think he likes it. Yeah, he's got they can move too. But yeah, I think he likes it. They're kind of big. Hey Larry, how's it going? Got Larry in the house. This party. Larry, did you get my email? I sent an email earlier in the week. I finally got Larry's picture done. I'm going to post that up on the community tab if he's cool with that. Um, I've been working on that for months. I just kept putting it off and finally got around to finishing it up, which is cool. I like finishing works. Doesn't happen all that often. They're like big pictures, big picture. They're like this one's actually 12 by 18, so it was pretty large. So again, I'm just scribbling, trying to figure out where the Chihuahua might be on this page. Like with the cat I did, I'm using kind of like cool colors to begin with. And I think the particular style that I'm going for here, I'll come back with warm colors later. That seemed to work really well for the kitty cat. I think it'll work well for this dog as well, hopefully. But unfortunately, I got this light up here and it causes like a lot of reflection on this ear over here. But I can still figure things out. Oh, yeah, you haven't even seen the email? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I finally got that done. It's in a, if you didn't get it, it may have gone to spam or something like that. Just let me know. And I'll resend it. But yeah, I mean, I can show you what the picture looks like real quick. So this is Larry's picture in plastic. Anyway, that one was a fun one. That's Zeus and Bandit. You guys should know Zeus and Bandit by now. done a couple of streams with working on that picture. Finally finished it up. Um, let's see. I think that's about right for these eyes. And again, just very, very loose marks here. Um, Basically scribbles. I like scribbling art. It's a lot of fun. I know this looks kind of weird right now, but it'll come together. Hey, Just Dave, how's it going? Yeah, Zeus and Bandit look done finally. I mean, the thing is, it's like it was. It's not like it was a lot of extra work. It was just sitting there, and it was like, oh, I gotta do this, but I don't want to screw it up. That's the problem. I already did a good job on. Well, I like what I did with the dogs themselves. So I was a little concerned about the background and like coming in and kind of screwing things up by putting the background in. It was really like a confidence thing, a little bit scared that I might screw things up, but finally got over it and just did it. Yeah, I was talking about going to that carnival like on Thursday. I was mentioning that I might go to that carnival. So I actually did. Me and my dad went over there, and like I said, it was only like a mile away, and we uh we went over there, and it was like really late. And I don't know if they just stopped checking for tickets or whatever, but they didn't check us, and we just kind of walked right in. So it was kind of cool. And we got to ride the merry-go-round and this like little tiny roller coaster and stuff. So I've got pictures of that. I might draw a picture of that at some point. That would look really cool with like some bright neon colors. Because I got pictures of the Ferris wheel, all that jazz. It's pretty cool. All right, it's kind of starting to look a little bit like a Chihuahua. I've never had a Chihuahua, um, but I had some people who had Chihuahuas in my vicinity. I always liked them. They're very nervous dogs. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that. Like they always seem to be scared of everything. Probably because they're so little. But they're like little yappers too. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that. Probably. If you've ever had a Chihuahua, you probably noticed that pretty quick. So I probably should have sharpened this beforehand, but you can see it's kind of wearing down to a nub. But that's okay. I'm probably going to switch to a different pencil here in a minute. I think that's probably a good basic start to our little Chihuahua. The cat I was doing was kind of like a long-haired cat, so this is a little bit more challenging because you got to get kind of like a little smaller, not smaller, well, smaller marks, but also kind of like more tight knit because you're not representing like a lot of fur. You're representing the actual underlying skeleton of the body. Hey, Whitney, how's it going? Oh, we got Richard in the house. We got Just Dave in the house. Nice. We got Whitney in the house. All my favorite people are here. Yay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to switch to a different pencil just because I don't know how much that one has. So just a little bit of a strategy tip here for those who are into drawing. I don't use, it's not a wide palette. So like I just basically have a collection of cool colors and a collection of warm colors. And then I have those duplicated in pencils. So I have my warm pencils here and my cool pencils here. So there's not really a lot of thought put into like what colors I choose because it's kind of like whatever colors I choose, it's going to be fine as long as I stick in that kind of like that temperature, right? So like as long as I use the cool stuff for first and then come back over it with the warm colors, it's hard to go wrong. Like, well, I don't want to jinx myself because it could still go wrong. I'm just saying that that's kind of the strategy. So you just kind of like stick them all together and you kind of go from darkest up to the light. That's kind of what I did last time and it kind of worked out. Whitney said, "Hey, I didn't even know you were live. I love the color palette. Thank you. I appreciate it." Yeah, I usually go live on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. If you're on the eastern side of the United States, around 8 o'clock. Usually between 8 and 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm streaming. And then sometimes I come in on like a Saturday morning or something and do some streaming too, but it's usually around this time. Every now and then I have to cancel. Like I was thinking I might have to cancel today just because we got some bad weather, but I think everything's fine. The problem is here in Kentucky, if you have the even even a slight whisper of wind, all of our internet goes out because like I don't know. I don't it's just really bad infrastructure. So usually whenever there's a strong gust of wind or something like that, the internet goes out. So if it does go out, that's the reason why we've been having some bad storms around here lately. Nothing terribly dangerous or anything like that. Like I checked, there's no tornado warning or anything like that. It just said strong winds. Does look kind of cool. Like just just if I just did the blues and the cool palette and all that, I think that these doggos would look cool. I just like drawing in color on black paper. It's just a lot of fun for me. All right, I think I'm gonna hazard to put in the eyes. And I didn't think ahead of time. I don't know what colors I'm going to use for the eyes, but I think we're probably at a good stage. I like to get these eyes in quickly when I'm doing a live stream. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Exactly. Yo quiero Taco Bell. It's Taco Tuesday, guys. So I'm gonna try to get the eyes in. So if I was doing this picture and I wasn't live streaming, I'd probably save these sort of detailed areas for like the end because I'm not 100% confident that's where I want the eyes to be. But because I'm doing a live stream, I want you guys to see where all the different parts are pretty early on. So I'm going to take a risk here and put these eyes in, even though I may have to move them later. I'm not going to stress it though. Put that over there so that I won't get that in the way. All right, and then I don't want to do the entire eye yet because I am a little bit leery about whether or not this is where it's going to go, but I think that this is probably enough. Yeah, all right, so you guys can see that there's eyes there. Cool. Yeah, yo quiero Taco Tuesday. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. If there's any Spanish speaking people in the audience, my apologies. I'm barely good at speaking English. I screw up a lot. Um, my defense is that I do drink a lot. I am drinking bourbon, so that is the reason why I can't talk. All right. So with that out of the way, go back into get some. I pulled out a bunch of cool colors, but I don't think I'm going to use them all now. Now that I'm looking at it, and then what's great about doing dogs and cats and assorted creatures that have hair is that you can scribble in a lot of the features and it's fine. You know, like just kind of scribbling in these layers of pencil. It looks like fur. So it does look like a nice little Yo Quiero Taco Bell dog. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember when they were doing those commercials back in the day. They did one, and it was the old version of Godzilla that had just come out, the one with Matthew Broderick, and they did a tie-in between Taco Bell and Godzilla movie, and he's like, I think I need a bigger box. He was trying to capture Godzilla. That's what I usually remember from those commercials. I don't know. It's kind of lame. This is hard to see because I've got this like reflected light in here. Hey, let me see if I can turn that. Makes a little bit of a difference. I'm gonna turn that back on for now. But this ear is probably going to look different in the finished picture. The problem is with the black paper is it's so reflective. The black paper is reflective, and then I put that clear gesso on it. That is reflective as well. It's tough. I got to kind of lean to the side just to be able to see it, but that's okay. Do whatever I need to do for art. Do it all for art. It's nice to have a reason for doing things, you know? All right, so this is going to be challenging. I got to get a nose in here somehow, and I kind of covered up some of it, and I feel like I need to erase some of these lines, so I'm going to try to do that. Just says, I can't speak Spanish. I can't speak Spanish either. I can try. Like, I know some words like, um, I took 2 years of Spanish in like high school, but I don't remember anything from it, and I kind of like failed those classes because I wasn't paying attention. Um, but I do remember something. So I learned enough about Spanish to where if I ever end up in Mexico by some accident or whatever, like I just get kidnapped or something, I end up in Mexico, I know enough to ask where the bathroom is because that's the most important thing that you can learn in any language is to be able to ask where the bathroom is. So that's donde está el baño. That's all I know of Spanish. I mean, I know like a little broken Spanish here and there, but that's a major one. And believe it or not, it's so funny. I thought I would never need that because I have no plans of going to Mexico. I don't, I probably never will. Maybe I don't want to say I'm never going to end up in Mexico, but it's not on the top list of places I would like to go. There's like more like places in Europe that I would like to go than um, Mexico. But you never know. You might end up in Mexico. So I wanted to know how to say "Donde está el baño?" Where's the bathroom in Spanish. So I thought I would never need that because I don't plan on going to Mexico. But then I went to a Comic Con just this year, and the Comic Con was at this new convention center that they had just finished up building, and I didn't know where the bathrooms were in the new building. So I'm walking around looking for the bathrooms, and I run across a janitor, and I'm like, "Hey, do you know where the bathroom is?" Well, lo and behold, he didn't speak any English. He was a Mexican, and finally, I got to use that phrase. I finally got to ask, "Where's the bathroom?" in Spanish, and it actually paid off because I knew that, and I was able to ask. He pointed me right to it, which was awesome. So, when they say you'll never use these things that you learn in school, that's not true. You may actually need to ask where the bathroom is in Spanish from the janitor who's like, why is this guy talking to me? And I was able to say gracias, which is thank you. I mean, most people know what gracias is. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong anyway. So it's probably like gracias. I don't know. I can't do the accents. Gracias? Gracias? Any case, I was able to ask. So that one I think is important. Being able to ask where the bathroom is. There's probably some other ones like I don't know. Yo soy americano, although that may not be good depending on where you are. I had a little blending stump somewhere. Where did I put that? Anyway, 1 second. Got all these supplies just all over the place over here, so sometimes I have to reach for it. So I didn't really want to do any kind of blending here, but I figure on some of these detailed areas, it might help just to kind of soften those up a little bit. Like here in the nose, kind of want to soften that up. So like with the cat, there are some areas that I want to be, um, you know, smoothed out and realistic, but most of it I just want to be kind of scribbles. That's the style. But you get these pieces in here um, at some point, and then you can kind of move on to the other parts that are supposed to be like, scribbles. I mention all the time, like there, wherever your focal area is, that's where you kind of want your details to be. And then, the further you move away from your focal area, it doesn't matter so much, if that makes sense. Picking the banyo down. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Sometimes I like to watch, or sometimes I like to actually listen to Spanish radio. I don't know why we get it around here, but we do. And I like to listen. I love Mexican songs. There's actually a neighbor of mine that is Mexican, and they sometimes have parties in their backyard. I just love that music. It's just really cool. I don't understand a lot of what's being said, but I like the music. A couple of years back, they had a quinceanera, however you pronounce that, in their backyard, and I was like, man, this is awesome. So I just sat out in my backyard and kind of like read a book while listening to their music. It's pretty cool. I don't think my neighbor watches this, but if they do, I appreciate you guys. Thanks. All right, gonna start getting some warm colors in here just to kind of figure out where all of these different things are. If that makes sense. I don't want to cover up the cool colors. I want those to show through, but I do kind of want to start introducing some warmer colors just to kind of like figure out where all the different features are in this face. Love La Bamba. Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously, I know some of their songs and like Feliz Navidad. Obviously, that means like Merry Christmas. Espero año something another. That means like wish you a happy new year. I don't know. I'd like to actually take Spanish, even though I've taken it twice. Like I said, I put 2 years of it into in high school. I would like to like refresh and like actually learn it, just because I don't know. There are like a lot of Spanish speaking people around here. It'd be kind of cool to know what they're saying. Um, as far as like languages that you can pick up here in the United States, especially in my neck of the woods, it's probably a good one to pick up. Like I don't see a lot of people around here speaking French or anything like that. But I guess if you were like in Canada or something like that, it might make sense to speak um, like Canadian. Canadian, I meant French. Kid says, we hired some guys to trim out our house last year, mariachi all day long. That's awesome. I really like that kind of music. It is it's catchy, you know. It seems like so like I'd be really curious if this is something that they listen to like all the time, right? Because like it seems like that is more like an old-fashioned kind of musical style. Mariachi bands, mariachi. Um, so like in the United States, for example, we have like oldies and things like that. People don't go around singing those usually. Uh, so I'm kind of curious if like the traditional like Mexican music that we might associate with them and stuff. I wonder if that's actually what they listen to, or if they listen to like more modern stuff. Canadian, I yay I. What's that? What's that about? What's that? Eh? Probably do like a Canadian. I can do like a really bad Canadian impression. What's that about? Hey Lorraine, how's it going? Bonjour. I can't do anything. I'm like really bad at butchering these things. All right, so I just wanted to kind of get a little bit of the warm colors in here. I think that's fine for now. I like mixing it up a little bit, so I'm gonna move into just because I'm still kind of filling this picture out. So, I'm experimenting in different areas until I get more comfortable with where everything is and how these features are working. So I'm going to try to get some color into the ears. Again, like everything else, it's just a matter of scribbling when you get into these larger features. Because you're further away from the face, it's okay to like be more abstract out here in these areas, I feel. Or at least it's the style, at least. Yeah. And again, I like how it turned out on the cat. The cat looked really cool. I got a lot of compliments on the cat. Felt the cat. Well, you guys named him. That was awesome, by the way. I appreciate all you guys who left comments on that video when I asked for you guys to name the cat and give it an origin story. You guys really came through. You guys had some great stories in there. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the kitty picture that I did, go and look at like last week's pictures, and then find the kitty cat that kind of looks like this style, and then read some of the comments in the on that video because like those are really creative. There's a lot of really cool people who watch this stream. You guys are cool. Love the googly eyes on Mr. Stickman. Mr. Stickman has a name. It's Geppetto now. We named him a couple of months ago, I think. I don't know. It's been a little while, but he's got a name. He is now named Geppetto. But yeah, the local dollar store had blue eyes, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Oops. Sometimes your pencils fly. Gotta be careful. All right, so I'm going to try to develop a mouth here. It does kind of look like a Chihuahua, which is kind of cool. You know, freehanding them. Pretty happy with that. Larry's picture just fell on me. This was Larry's picture, by the way. I think that looks cool. We put that somewhere where it's not going to fly on. So, Larry, if you can reply to my email, I'm not sure if I have your address. If you can send me your address, or I'll double check and see if I do have your address. But anyway, I can get that out to you probably, tomorrow, next day, something like that. I just, I don't know. You might have given me your address. So, like, I don't want to say I don't have your address because I haven't checked. But, yeah, mail that out. Hopefully you'll hang it up. That'd be cool. Send a picture. You would call him Pedo for short. Yeah, that's cool. Pedo. He's kind of cute. I've got some outfits for him too. Somewhere like old GI Joe outfits and stuff. I'm gonna try them out. He's got a bunch of like I don't know. I got like a chair for him. He's got a bunch of like little tiny things. He's like a member of the family at this point, you know. So for those who like absolutely do not know, I am using pastel pencils. You can use colored pencils if you want to do this kind of same effect. I like using pastel pencils just because they're like really smooth and um, I like I like the effect that you get out of them. But not everybody's into like pastel pencils, so not everybody has pastel pencils. So I did want to say that you could use colored pencils. It'd be a little bit difficult when you get into like areas that I use the stick uh, pastels on, which I haven't really done very much in this picture, but I probably will towards the end. Like this area through here probably is a good candidate for some stick. Obviously, you couldn't do this part with colored pencils, but I would argue like, do you really need to? You could do this. You could do this with pencils as well. You don't really need the stick. I love this dog already. He does look like the Taco Bell dog. The kiddo Taco Bell. Yeah, he's a real boy now. Hey Tom, how's it going? All right, put that to the side. Let me grab this. Some Again, you don't need to do the stick pastels. I just do it because like I don't know. One, I'm trying to get in the habit of doing them, and then two, it does cover a lot more area, and you can like really get some some bold colors out of it. And I think that's important. The further along you get, once you know where everything is, like I'm pretty certain I'm like committed to this being his head size and all that stuff. So I feel comfortable using those at this point and really putting in some dark marks or like some bold marks. But I probably wouldn't start with those just because I don't know, still figuring out where everything is. So you come in with the scribbles, you get everything figured out first, and then you can come in with those and kind of like add more painterly marks, I guess would probably be the term. Although I'm not 100% certain on any of the terms I ever use on this show. He looks like a Chihuahua to me. I always get nervous going into these live streams. Like I'm comfortable failing. Like I have failed many times on this show. It's just part of the process. You're not always going to create like masterworks or whatever. Um, but I never want to fail. So I am nervous sometimes going into this. Like, is this picture going to actually look okay? Did I choose the right medium? Did I choose the right subject? All of that stuff. All that stuff. Like, I don't know. Like on a Tuesday, I would say probably around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I really start thinking about what I'm going to work on. And I start stressing these things like, I don't know, what am I going to do tonight? Like, I don't want to do the same thing I always do, so I don't want to be repetitive. Um, so I started thinking about these things and I'm like, well, I don't know. Let me try to do this colorful dog. Well, what kind of dog should I do? I don't know. I, I don't want to do like a lab. I do a lab a lot. What else can I do? These are the kind of thoughts I have. It's a little bit obsessive, but it is it's part of being an artist. I think it's all part of the process. But you start working on the picture, and it turns out looking okay. Like I think this is looking okay. Then you start feeling a little bit better about things. You feel better about the choices that you made like 3 hours ago. Because you never really know. You don't know when you're going into it how it's going to turn out. I mean, I still don't know. Like this isn't done, so I can't say that it's going to turn out perfect. But I have a lot more confidence that it will now. So that's good. So yeah. He's looking cool. Anybody watching House of the Dragon? I know it's not for everybody, but it's the Game of Thrones sequel. It's pretty good. Like I wasn't a big fan of Game of Thrones in the last couple of seasons. I feel like they really screwed that show up. But the sequel, no, sorry, this is a prequel. It's in the same universe. It's just in a different time frame. It's pretty good. You have to be into Game of Thrones, and I realize not everybody is. I mean, it's got adult subject matter. It's you know violent sometimes, things like that. It's not for everybody, but if you do mind, or if you don't mind those type of shows and stuff, it's really good. It's got a really good story there. It's got great actors. Um, it's a pretty solid show. I'm watching that. I'm watching The Boys, which is definitely not for everybody. That show's just like that show's just terrible. Um, only watch The Boys if you don't mind gore, you don't mind really raunchy material, um, material that definitely is not for kids. Um, yeah, and dark humor, things like that. If you're okay with that, then The Boys is pretty good. I'm watching that right now. But House of Dragon, I would say it's really good. It's better than Game of Thrones in my opinion, like the original Game of Thrones. The story's better, the actors are better. It's tough to say the actors are better, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The actors are better. Better story too. Hey MJ, how's it going? But again, don't go and watch these shows just because I'm talking about them. Definitely do your due diligence and realize, like, double check to make sure that you want to watch that kind of, because they are very like adult um, shows, especially The Boys. The Boys is not for, I don't know, probably little 14-year-old kids are going to watch it anyway, but it's not really meant for them. What kind of dog are you drawing? You tell me. What kind of dog does it look like? I will tell you, but I want you to guess first. Because if I did my job, you should be able to guess. I mentioned that I just finished up watching True Detective as well, the Night Country. That was pretty good. Um, I know that that's been out for a while, so like I just finally got around to watching it. Most people have already seen it, but I like that. That was pretty good. It didn't really get really great ratings, so I'm surprised by that. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Oh, and I'm watching Star Wars: The Acolyte. That's getting some bad reviews from people, which I don't know. It's not that bad, but it is also kind of lame. It's kind of boring, to be honest. I like Star Wars, but that show is it's not super exciting Star Wars. Not like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's great, or at least the first couple of seasons of The Mandalorian. When it comes to the Acolyte, I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do. It's still ongoing, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But so far, it's just not that exciting. Some um some of the criticisms people have thrown at it, I don't know if I agree with. Like people have criticized that it kind of destroys some of the lore of Star Wars, but I think it's a little early to say that because I feel like they still have several episodes that could turn it around depending on how they want to go with it. Rainbow Gremlin is a dog that has no hair. Um, Kinda. I mean, it's got really, really short hair, like super short. Like basically, the body is. I mean, it's got fur on it, but you're basically seeing the actual body itself. That's how short that hair is. It's a rainbow gremlin. That's actually the best. Ah, it's a rainbow gremlin. All right. I don't care what it was meant to be. I know what it is now. Anyway, the acolyte, it's not so bad, but it is kind of boring. Probably the best Star Wars lately that I enjoyed was Andor. Andor was really good. That was actually a good show. Um, Mandalorian touches all the bases and everything, but I feel like Andor they really kind of like took a chance and it paid off. It was a good show. The funny thing is, I don't hear a lot of people talking about the Andor, so I don't know. I don't know if many people have seen it, but I liked it. So if you're looking for a recommendation, I can recommend Andor. I don't feel comfortable recommending The Acolyte. It's kind of boring. I will watch all of it because I will watch everything that start like everything Marvel and everything Star Wars. I'm kind of obligated to watch it. Like Deadpool is coming out next month. I will definitely watch that. Like, I don't know, a lot of people are over like superhero movies and things like that. That's not me. I will watch every single thing that they put out. This is a good bourbon, by the way. Sorry, I have to comment on my bourbon every now and then. I had a pretty good drink yesterday. Um, me brother, my brother, my brother is a chef, and he sometimes does catering events. And he went to one, and they had a bunch of alcohol left over, so he let me have some of it. So I've got two bottles of Bacardi rum. One is white rum, and one is the gold rum. But I also had like some vodka left over, and he had some like lime juice and things like things for mixers, and these all fell in my lap. So I'm like, oh, what should I make out of this? So I decided to like kind of mix the vodka with the lime juice and kind of make a like a vodka margarita almost, and it turned out pretty good. I might actually drink that on the show sometime because it actually turned out really well. I'm looking for a good way to make the rum because I'm not a big rum drinker, so that's kind of new to me. I'm gonna have to put some thought into that. All right, just put in some whiskers there. I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, I'm kind of a whiskey drinker. I'm not a big rum person. So I got to figure out what to do with that. I drink the vodka sometimes just as a mixer with other things. That's not really my go-to either. Sometimes I drink tequila, but that's almost exclusively for like margaritas. I do like margaritas. Um, so I don't know what to do with rum. My brother, he likes to think he's from the Caribbean. Like we're all from like down south, so from like the low country of South Carolina, probably back in the day. But he likes to think that he's from a little bit further south. When he was in the Navy, he was stationed in Cuba. Like my dad was stationed in Cuba when we were younger as well. So uh, when he had the opportunity to go to Cuba, he signed up for that, and now he thinks he's Cuban. So he really likes rum. He really likes Jamaican food. Like he's really good at making Jamaican food. I should say that. So he's really good at making Jamaican jerk, chicken, um, all that jazz. So he's a big rum drinker, but I am not. So I have to figure out what to do with this rum. I don't even know what recipes rum goes into. I feel like it's a lot of fruity type deals. I'm not a big fruit person. Like I'm not a big sweet person, believe it or not. I'm a savory person. So like I like tacos. But I'm not a big I don't know. I'm not like a big pie, cake, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I'll eat it. Don't get me wrong, and I'll enjoy it. I'm just not the type of person that goes like looking for that. Oh, pina colada. Okay, pina colada's got rum in it. Nice. Somehow I feel like I should have known that, but I did not know that. Yeah, I can make some pina coladas. I love coconut. I'll probably just go to the store and get some coconut mix. Actually, a mojito. Um, I'm not sure I've ever had a mojito, to be honest. But yeah, I've got like two bottles of rum, so I've got to oh, rum and coke, duh. That seems yeah, I've heard that one before. This is how naive I am when it comes to rum. It's like you guys are naming off these things I've heard all my life and it never occurred to me. Yeah, a rum and coke, that makes sense. I can have that tonight. But yeah, basically I've got two bottles of Bacardi and I need to figure out what to do with them. So you guys are giving me great suggestions. I appreciate it. If it's whiskey, even if it's not bourbon, I can figure out what to do with it. Because basically every single whiskey recipe you can do with bourbon as well. Like they're kind of interchangeable there. I personally think that cocktails made with bourbon taste better than cocktails made with whiskey. Well, that's not true. It depends on what it is. Like a whiskey sour is still better with whiskey than it is with bourbon. But any kind of like, I don't even know where I was going with that thought. But most things I like bourbon in the cocktail, like an old fashioned, for example. I think that's going to be better with bourbon than whiskey, even though you can have it with both. I like the expression on this dog's face. I hope I can keep that as I continue developing his face, but he's got this expression on his face that's I'm really digging here. He's a beautiful dog. I love him. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Remember Mark and marketing? Yes, absolutely. I is he still there? I think he left. He only drinks rum and drinks it straight. I mean, I'm gonna have to try again. I have barely ever drank rum, so I'm going to have to drink some of it straight just to kind of refresh my memory of like what's involved in rum, because before I mix it with anything else, I feel like I owe myself the duty, the the chore, the the experience. I owe myself the experience of drinking the rum straight, which is fine. Like the problem is it's like I'm not the Jimmy Buffett kind of guy. Like the parrot head, the Caribbean, the pirate kind of like living off the seas and stuff. That's just not me. So it's like I've never really basically everything I do in life is cosplay. So I drink the bourbon because I'm cosplaying the Kentucky lifestyle, right? So like I'm just living the Kentucky lifestyle. That's all. So I've never had the opportunity to live the Caribbean lifestyle. So it's like I don't know. Probably if I lived down there, I would drink that more often. But yeah, like I feel like I should try it. Looks like he's smirking at us. Exactly, just Dave. A daiquiri. Yeah, okay, a rum daiquiri. That's nice. And he says, "Have you thought of drinking it?" Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get around to drinking it. Um, like I said, I mean, I don't like things to go to waste. So when he came up on those two bottles and stuff from like that catering job he was doing, and he gave them to me, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll figure out something to do with them. He usually comes back with he's like my go-to source on bourbon because he's a chef, so he does like private dinners, he does weddings. If anybody's in Lexington and they need a private chef, you let me know. Um, but he does all that stuff, and whenever you have a wedding, there's always leftover drinks, and like I have actually bartended a couple of weddings for him. I don't really know how to mix most of the drinks and stuff, but mixers I can do, and so I've done that. I'm actually licensed in Kentucky to serve drinks. I think I'm still am. It's been a couple of years, but weddings are great for that kind of stuff because like you're drinking along with everybody else. You're bartending, but you're also like got your little drink over on the side. You're drinking that. It's just fun. Even if it's not your wedding, you don't know any of the people. Like that movie Wedding Crashers, I can see that being a thing because like I have bartended at several weddings, and it is just as much fun not even knowing any of the people there. Um, to like just participate. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, fix this ear over here. I want. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're still under an hour. Good. Nothing wrong with a cheeseburger in paradise with a side of jerk pork. I do like jerk flavored food. I I love jerk chicken. Um, Jamaican beef patties. I've been eating a lot of those lately. They're really good. If you've never had a Jamaican beef patty, it's kind of like a hot pocket, but it's more like a pastry. So it's like if you crossed a like a croissant with a hot pocket, and then you had all those like Jamaican flavors like allspice, um, I don't know, like jerk. I'm trying to think what all's in it. I really don't know because I'm not like a cook myself. But it's so good. A Jamaican beef patty, you owe it to yourself to try one if you ever get the chance. If you're into like, I don't know, calzones, burritos, things like that, that kind of type of food, you should try a beef patty. So good. Straight rum is good. Cuban rum is one of my vices. So it's Bacardi. I'm not sure if I've ever had Bacardi. I'm sure I have at some point. I mean, I'm of a certain age. I'm pretty sure I've tried everything. It's just, it's not ringing a bell. I can't remember the last time I had Bacardi. So you can see I'm really precise with some of my marks, and then other ones I just kind of like to come in and just, you know, just kind of like scrape it across the page, kind of like just wisp it. I like that kind of balance. This is one of the things I like about doing art. It is fun. It is whimsical. I don't know if that's the right word, but that came to my mind, and I like it. Um, just to kind of come in and just make these marks. The process of creating art, I think, is defined as making marks on a page to try to like convey some subject of whatever nature. Um, so it's basically mark making, is what I'm getting at, and I love that aspect of it because you can make marks in different ways. Here I am switching back and forth between different pencils and different ways of doing it, and I like that aspect of it. It's a lot of fun. Oops, I need to jerk that. This up here. Get a. Whoops, that's a bit much. Tone that down a little bit, maybe. Let's see. Straight rum is good. Nothing wrong with the cheeseburger in paradise. Yeah. Anyone see that drawing of Larry? There's a drawing of Larry. What? Rome, did you draw me? I did with the whole crew in a dinner. Oh, well, I am super curious what that looks like now. Yeah, Rome Dog's pretty good at drawing too. So, like, if he drew people in here, that's probably a good picture. This is a rainbow gremlin. Now that I look at it. I mean, these Chihuahuas, they're kind of crazy. All right, so this came out a lot brighter than I wanted it to, but that's okay because there's ways to compensate. So I am going to grab this over here, and the trick is I just need to make this entire side nice and bright. I'm going to get this going up here. It is nice to switch between the pencils and the soft pastels. The soft pastels, I really enjoy drawing with soft pastels. They're so smooth. It's like painting with butter. Hey Tyler, how's it going, man? Larry on the back of a gator. No Taco Bell after midnight. Exactly. No Taco Bell at. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, when you have a colorful gremlin like this guy, got to remember the rules. No Taco Bell after midnight. They were supposed to be making another Gremlins movie, a Gremlins 3, but they've been talking about this for years, so I don't know where that stands. I feel like that's been in development hell, but it is something that's supposed to be happening. And what I remember reading in some article is that they're supposed to use oh, the other thing, Big Trouble in Little China. They've been supposed to be making a sequel to that. Anyway, sorry, I got off on tangent. But they're supposed to be using practical effects. So like one of the rules is that they don't feel that doing gremlins in CGI is the right way. And I completely agree. I think that that would be a disservice. So they're going to do the practical Muppets and stuff like that, which is, good. I liked it when they went back to the Muppet Yoda for Star Wars. That was like the rest of Star Wars kind of sucked those movies, but the the puppet version of Yoda was pretty good. Yapping yapping dog. Jeremy is a Chihuahua. Finally, MJ, do you think does it look like a Chihuahua? If it looks like a Chihuahua, yes, it is a Chihuahua. If it doesn't look like a Chihuahua, then it looks like whatever you want it to be. It's intended to be a Chihuahua, the yapping dog. I like it. It is intended to be a very colorful Chihuahua. I'm glad you recognize that because I was getting a little worried there. If it doesn't look like a Chihuahua at this point, then I kind of failed. Well, I didn't fail. It's just more work to do. That's all. Movie stars seem to like dogs. Paris Hill. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Paris Hill kind of dog. There you go. Jeremy, it looks great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely a Paris Hill kind of dog. Definitely a movie star kind of dog. This one looks kind of like a drunk Chihuahua. I love it. Yeah. Unintentionally drunk Chihuahua. Yeah, they put like they put them in their purse because they're like little tiny dogs. Like I felt like that's the reason why you would have one of these dogs. Is if like you wanted to walk around with the dog like in your backpack or something like that. These guys are these guys are very portable dogs. But yeah, you can take them pretty much anywhere. You know what I like about dogs these days is that most restaurants allow you to bring dogs in, or like bars and stuff. That used to not be the case. Nowadays, it's almost like dogs are like bars are competing to allow for customers, dog owner customers. Not dogs themselves. Um, and I kind of like that aspect of it. Like you don't have to smuggle a dog in a purse anymore. Like you can actually just walk into a bar with your dog. In most cases, not every case, but I like that aspect of dog life, dog owner life. Yeah, he's looking cute. Tyler, I'll guess playing chicken while riding a bull. I missed Tyler's question. That's why he's smirking at us. Nice. I bet that little Chi Chi knows where warm water's halt. Yep, yep, he knows. The Taco Bell bathroom, that's where that's where it all. Actually, that's where it begins. The warm water begins in the Taco Bell bathroom. Let's see. I think I need to beef up the color through here. This white. I do like messing with colors. What I mean by that is, like a Chihuahua isn't rainbow color. Um, that cat that I did last week, it's not the colors that I did of that either. It's you know, like there's no reason why you can't make up your own color palette. And I think the trick to that is that you want to get those values in there. You want to get all the features in there. You want to get all of that stuff going. You want all that to be realistic. But it really doesn't matter what colors you use as long as you're kind of in that. Um, as long as you're kind of creating the right colors that or the right values, I guess, in terms of like the features and so on. It's hard for me to explain. But like this area right here would be bright on this dog, right? So it doesn't matter if that's like a light brown or if it's these yellows that I'm using up here. These down here would be less bright, so it doesn't matter what colors I use. I can use these nice little cool colors to do that, and all of these things are great. Like you can kind of go nuts with your own colors as long as you follow those certain guidelines. I don't want to say rules, certain guidelines. They're all like guidelines. We're into drinking rum now. We're pirates. We don't follow no rules. They're more like guidelines. Okay, so I feel pretty good with the face. Maybe not perfect, but I feel like I'm comfortable, kind of like moving into some of the the body area. And to this, I kind of want to keep it pretty loose. So I just kind of want to scribble in some of these warmer colors that I haven't used down here yet, just to kind of get a feel for where things are. I'll develop this a little bit more, but I don't want to overdevelop this area down here. Hey, Jeremy, did you see that picture of Larry? I have not seen any picture that you've drawn of Larry. I do want to check that out. I will definitely check that out after this. So I think it's important to, like in this style at least, to just kind of keep things loose, just kind of like scrape them across the paper. it's a challenge, but you're you're wanting to give the impression of different features without like I don't know, like you don't want to draw it too explicitly, I guess. It's just, you know, different different areas. Especially when you're working with pastels. It's a cool style to just kind of like just come in and just be like scribble. And you know, there is a risk of like screwing up, but also, you know, you got to take some risks. Art is about taking some risks, and that's fine, you know, because like you have to be comfortable failing, and I'm pretty comfortable failing because I've done it a lot. It's okay to fail. The more you do these things, the less worried you are about it. Because, like, you know that, well, okay, maybe it's not going the direction I wanted to, but I can pivot and recover. Like, I don't know, like maybe that mark there isn't perfect or whatever. That's fine. I like taking the pencil and using it kind of like as a knife in these stages. It's kind of chopping at the paper. Um, so by using this, it's kind of like butter on the paper. You do kind of get this kind of painterly look to it. You know, like if you were using paints, you would be loosely. You could totally do this in paints, by the way. But anyway, you would be kind of using either a palette knife or like loosely bringing your paper or like your sorry your brush across the canvas. But yeah, you just kind of make some marks. You can't screw this up. It's I mean, you can screw this up. Like you can totally screw this up. Actually, I will probably screw this up before we're done. Like you can't screw it up. Oh, that's not really true. That's not a true statement there. You can totally screw it up. But I don't know. Can you really screw it up if you can just like pivot into a different direction? I don't know. I really don't know. So you see the process, right? So the process is you start with like a scribble in the soft colors, and you start building that up. And then as you get into the top layers, you already know where your dog is. Like your dog is here on this paper. You're at this point you're just kind of like you're just adding details. So it's okay to get kind of like loose with these top layers because by the time you get to these top layers, you're already committed to the where that dog is. If you were like being this loose on the lower layers, you know, before you had a dog developed on the page, you might be having some trouble. He does have an expression though. Who said it? I think it was just Dave. He's smirking at us or something. He knows something. He ain't telling you. That's going to be your challenge for this one. So, like the last one, I wanted you guys to write an origin story. This one, I want you guys to put in the comments what you think this guy knows that he's not saying. Can you get that dog, pet that dog? I mean, this is a definitely a pettable dog. Absolutely. I love this dog. This dog's so cute. So at this point, I like to, just put some random marks everywhere. Just get kind of crazy with it. There is a risk of like overdoing it as far as like just putting in these random marks and stuff, but I don't think I'm worried about that right now. So I appreciate the rum suggestions, guys. Yeah, appreciate all that. I'll probably have some rum maybe on Thursdays. Yeah, you know what? On Thursdays stream, I'm gonna try the rum. Like Bacardi's pretty good too, I think. As far as rums go. It's definitely a Yoketo Taco Bell dog. I wish I knew how to draw the Taco Bell logo. I would put that in here. Oh, I love that term. I love that phrase, Just Dave. I really like these neon controlled chaos style pieces. That's exactly what they are. Um, the neon bit, it doesn't have to be. I just like these colors. I think they look really cool on black paper. But the chaos style, that's perfect way of saying it. I feel like it's controlled chaos. And I like that style. Um, it's something I'm not perfect at. I'm still developing, the ability to do it, but it's something I enjoy. I'm gonna introduce some purple up here. Sorry, new color. It's something I enjoy. I do enjoy these colors on the paper, and I like the loose style. It is it is basically scribble art. It's random chaos, but it's controlled chaos. Like it's not like I'm just okay. So I am just kind of like basically just going crazy here, but it again, it's about the value. So like if you know that this area is going to be like light, it really doesn't matter what color you're using. So like I'm using like it's hard to see on camera, but I'm using a purple that I just introduced and it works fine. It works fine because it's a lighter than the other stuff around it. So I'm able to get these highlights in here that I wanted to get. This dog, this dog is not amused by your thoughts, by the way. He's looking at you like those are the Taco Bell colors. Oh, there you go. Accidentally. Um, looks pretty cool, kid says. After a couple of Dos Equis, Chico is going to hit the club to check if Desmond left any wallflowers behind. I like it. There you go. Already got the origin stories going. I like it. Yeah, he does kind of have a smirk going. He knows something. He's not telling you. He's like, fools, you will never know. So some technical comments. This clear gesso that I put down really is supplying a lot of tooth. So I can do a lot of layers on here that I wouldn't be able to do if I just left this paper unprepared. So if you do want to try this, make sure that you do get the clear gesso so that you're able to put all these different layers together. Just a just a little pro tip. I guess. Because, like, I don't know, some people do watch this show for edutainment, I guess. I don't know why people watch this show. All right. I think we got a pretty solid base there. Chunk in some areas out here. So there is a point where you do run the risk of like overdoing it. So I do want to make sure that I don't do that. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I want to make sure that we don't run that risk. Get a little bit of background in here. Just having some fun with the background. This part's unnecessary, completely unnecessary. Man, I so want some Taco Bell right now. It's ridiculous. I wasn't gonna fill up the whole page, but I figured why not? Chaos. Chihuahua. Chihuahua? Chihuahua. Okay. Chaos Chihuahua. Yes. Chaos Chihuahua. Nice. All right. And then I don't want it all to be kind of like these things. I want kind of like just some lines. Chaos Chihuahua. But see, it's controlled chaos, and I kind of like this style, whether it's the pastels or whether it's the charcoal. A lot of the pictures I draw aren't this style, and that's totally fine too. It's just whenever I get a chance to kind of like loosen up, I feel like this is where I want to be, and with my artistic style, it's it's not something that I feel like I'm a master of yet, but it's certainly fun, and that's what attracts me to it. Um, you know, just having some fun. So the reason why it's controlled chaos is because like you have this chaos, but you still are following the rules of composition, right? So like you still want to uh, develop this edge here, for example, so that you know what part is dog and what part is background. And then probably I want to come back over this, kind of darken that up a little bit. So that was a little bit too light. So that you do know what part's background and what part's dog, if that makes sense. He looks like he's all jazzed up for 4th of July, to be honest, because that's like right around the corner. You guys looking forward to that? Got 4th of July right around the corner. Fireworks time. I don't like the 4th of July when it comes to like fireworks, especially in like a subdivision like where I live. Um, it just drives my dogs crazy. They're so afraid of the fireworks. I don't even get to enjoy the fireworks myself because I have to babysit my dogs. I'm thinking he knows it was him that set the fire in the nearby fireworks factory. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like basically the fireworks are going off behind him. He's got that smirk on his face, like, yeah, it was me. All right. So probably gonna call this done soon, just because like I'm running out of I don't want to overdo it, you know. It's consistent in the style of the cat I did the other day. So that's good. Maybe a little bit more than what's going on with the cat picture, but that's totally fine. You know, each picture is their own picture. I would consider this basically the same um style. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, Jeremy, stop. You have mastered those colors. I mean, it is a lot of fun. All right, so this is the dog, and this is the cat from the other day. So I do feel like it's in the same style, right? Like this is basically a consistent style. Um, Probably went a little bit crazier with the Chihuahua, but it's very similar. So that's kind of cool. That's another style, I guess, of pictures that you know I can I can kind of like work to develop. Um, Flesh out a little bit more. Maybe I'll like master it at some point, but I do like these colors. These are the best colors. All right, cool. Okay, so I think if I don't call it done, I'm going to run the risk of overdoing it, which is not something I want to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it done. He's so adorable. Uh, First time doing a Chihuahua too. That's nice. Um, I can cross that off my list. Actually, I think a Chihuahua as a coffee painting would probably look kind of cool too. He needs like a little tiny sombrero. He's adorable. Okay. You're all great company. Thanks, Just Dave. Appreciate it. It's always nice when Just Dave hangs in here because he's from the UK and they have different times than we do over here. So it's always nice when I see him. All right, I think that's enough. All right. I'm gonna call it done. Maybe I might touch it up here and there if I have a mind to, but I think he's pretty good. Um, Maybe some touch ups through there. Sorry. Every now and then I just kind of go back and I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I think he's done. All right, cool. Okay, so I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let's get some little. Sorry. Every time I say it's done, I want to tinker with this some more, but no, I think he's done. All right. Anyway, Chihuahua, colorful. Um, I like it. All right. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully, you guys had a good time. For those of you who are into art, hopefully you learned something. Um, he definitely looks guilty. Like he did something. I like Just Dave's idea that he broke into the fireworks factory. You know, we are coming up on 4th of July soon. He broke into the fireworks factory. He got into some fireworks and he kind of like lit them off, and he's got that expression on his face like, yeah, I'm sorry, I did it. But I don't want to stifle your creativity or like give you any kind of confirmation bias in your creativity. I want to hear from you guys. What's this guy's name? Because you guys really came through on the kitty cat, coming up with names and origin stories. So I want to hear from you guys. What is the name and origin story of this dog? Drop them in the comments. Whenever you get a chance. Don't stress it. It's just all in fun. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys. What's this guy's origin story? What he's up to? What the expression is all about? Um, so yeah, we'll yeah, another homework assignment. Yeah. Yeah, Larry. Yeah, as soon as you send me that address, I'll shoot that out to you. Um, I'll also post your picture up on the community tab so that people can see what the finished work looks like. But anyway, I had fun. Hopefully you guys did as well. Let me go back in here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday night. I will be back on Thursday with another picture. Not sure what we're going to work on yet, but I am really enjoying these colorful pictures, so I expect more in the future. Like you can see behind me, I've been taking down some of my pictures. Probably get some new ones up there, but as you can see, they're mostly like, monotone and stuff like that. I like playing with color every now and then. Bear says hi, by the way. All right. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll see you guys on on Thursday. She knows when the stream's over. She just pops in here. Anyway, bye. Have a good one. See ya.